Hello, everyone. My name is Mihai Chimiuk, and I hope everyone is having a good day. Today, we're going to take a deep dive, no pun intended, into the maritime sector application for green proofs. As Amy opened the sessions, uh, we're going to talk about more in the connection of what we're doing in the maritime industry. So today, we're going to work through the maritime registry. How does it work? I'm going to present a really concrete use case of it based on the story. We're going to work through the mechanism of how it works, and then we're going to draw some conclusions. And so maybe you're wondering if you can please change a slide. Maybe you're wondering what is the connection with what we're doing as Energy Web and maritime space, right? We have energy, maritime, but if you think of energy, it's not just about electricity. Energy can come in a lot of forms, even in the food that you're eating and in a form of fuel in the maritime space, hence the connection. So there's a lot of actors involved in the space, and one of the major challenges is that you have to take a lot of this heterogeneous industry and put it under one platform. When you think of a cargo on a ship that is transporting something, you can think of the liquids, you can think of basically cargo, any sort of object that you were ordering online, cars, and even passengers, right? So it's very complicated to think of the design to encompass them all, but we have really strong partners that we work with, and I think the solution that we come up with it's quite good and unique. So I'll go a bit through the actual actors and the roles that each of them has in the maritime industry. On one hand, you have the ship owner, which is, as the name suggests, the one that actually owns the ship. Sometimes it's very different from the actual entity that operates the ship. The third actor is the freight forwarder. Basically, are the services that make sure that everything is smooth from the beginning until the end. And then you have the cargo owners, basically the ones that actually own the big crates and the cargo that you see on the big ships. And long story short, the registry that we have built, it's trying to simplify the process of registering the usage and ownership of sustainable fuel or alternative fuel for all the actors involved, so that everyone can claim that they've been part of a sustainable shipment transportation. As Amy presented before, the solution is part of Green Proofs. We have specialized in bringing to life various solutions, not only from the supply chain, as Wendell presented as well in the air, also in the water, and you'll hear Amy later on talking about Green Proofs for Bitcoin, with really interesting partners coming along. And I like to think of ourselves with this Green Proof solution as merchants of trust. Basically, what we're doing is we have very reliable partnerships, and we build the best platform there is to enhance trust for all the actors involved. How can you get involved? There's two ways. As a company, as a community member, individual. If you have a green asset or something that you think it's worth registering, it's worth enhancing the transparency, we can build a solution, and not in years, but in months. I think that's one thing that distinguishes us from the rest, and the passion for sustainability that it's implied. As a community member, you have the potential to actually be part of the processes through the Worker Nodes network. So for that, please stay tuned for the Energy WebX website. The guys from the design, they've done a really amazing job. I don't think you've ever seen such an awesome website. So please check it out. There's going to be solutions for all types of stuff: cars, shoes, chairs, all other products, all sorts of flavors and forms. And I want you now to imagine something. Let's take a trip together, and maybe right now you're in your house, maybe you're in your office, but all of us are buying shoes, right? Regardless of it being for walking, going to gym, um, or simply having a leisure activity, we all support some brands, right? I'm not going to name anyone, but basically, your shoe, most of the times, you'll see label on it, and it will say, "Hey, this shoe is sustainable." But the date conundrum is, if the shoe is sustainable, is the whole journey of it sustainable? And this is where it come in. Usually, the shoe, it's being designed in the States, in Europe, or another country. Most of the time, it's assembled in Southeast Asia and travels most of the time via ship. The road for it, it's actually quite complicated and fascinating if you think about it. From the factory to the first port to the country of destination, usually maybe it goes to different countries, to the logistics center, and then to your home if you order it online to come to your home. There are quite a few companies that have managed to do this in a magical way, bringing the shoe at your step quite in a very speedy manner. And I'd like us to go a bit through the life cycle of a shoe, which basically it's the whole journey of a shoe, right? From the raw materials that are being part of the production to the processes and activities that are part of assembling it, logistics, and then what happens with the shoe afterwards, even when you ditched it or you use it for recycling. There's a whole lot of emissions involved in it, and usually the logistics part is just 5%. But if you put on how big the industry is and how many products are being shipped on a daily basis, you'll see the numbers. I'll take it from the bottom up. The whole emissions, um, the total emissions, is around 3% of global emissions. And the biggest challenge in this industry is that usually for a car, you maybe replace it every 5, 10, 15 years. A van or bigger thing, maybe 15, 20 years. And airplanes, 20, 25. But a ship takes around 35 years to actually be replaced with a sustainable one. There's quite a few out there, 100,000 approximately, and they consume quite a lot of fuel, 300 million tons per year to be more precise. And the challenge is on two sides, right? As a shoe company, it's quite hard to control what's the transportation part, but quite easy if it's part of production which you own. But if you're a shoe buyer, at the same time, it's hard to figure out if a shoe is sustainable or not. If it's travel when it travels by sea, simply by looking at the label. We're solving this with two partners: Rocky Mountain Institute, which is the best out there in research and putting together all the relevant actors to advance sustainable agenda. And then we have the Merce McKinney Moller Center, despite the name, an independent center that is basically aggregating all the actors from maritime industry to bring zero carbon shipping to life. And what's interesting about the center is that you have at the same table people from the same industry, but from competitors in the industry working together to solve this problem. So it's not just something that few people work with, it's something that it affects the whole world. And top of that, we've won the actual request for proposal amongst other candidates, which were quite numerous. And we're basically supporting the project from a tech perspective, and we'll do so as well in continuity. How does it actually work? Right, you're a maritime industry actor, as I said, the four actors involved. They have two of them, the ship operator and the ship owner. They have 3 months to actually upload the voyage, which is basically the road that the ship takes from point A to point B. It can be several countries, as I said, but it's basically a voyage. Once they've registered their alternative usage of the voyage into the system, it goes through a validation process, which of course will be enhanced as well with auditing, external auditing, to generate tokens or certificates that all the actors involved in it can actually claim it. And if you think of it from a ripple perspective, very similar to how you throw a rock in the water and make splashes, we are at the forefront. We're the first step, right in the middle. Then you have the industry actors, right, which are claiming that they've used alternative fuel in their transportation. Afterwards, you have brands for shoes, cars, other items that will disclose to their shoe users, car drivers, whatever item it's on the ship, that the transportation has been done in a sustainable manner. Now, if we look for the future and the demand, you have to piece a couple of things together. First, EU wants to become the first carbon neutral continent by 2050 through a lot of stringent regulation and market participation, right? And at the same time, the usage of alternative fuels will need to be 100% by 2050. So what we're doing right now is just the beginning. Everything that we'll do have to be done for at least 20, 25 years. So we're here to stay. And future looks bright, violet. And there's benefits and impact to be having from various components and actors involved. As a brand, you can transparently see if the transportation is being part, it's sustainable or not. You can communicate that to your end users. As an individual, you'll be able to participate potentially in the worker nodes network in a formally opaque and closed doors platform. And even look at your future labels and have a bit more trust that the shoe it's actually sustainable, not just from a production perspective, but also from transportation. And as a maritime industry actor, you'll make sure to have a very smooth process for you to benefit from a trust enhancer platform and exchange and claim certificates. In closing, we're at the forefront of innovation. We're working with really strong partners. We're right where we can differentiate ourselves and specialize in this, green proofs. And yourself and future kids are closer to enjoy a fully sustainable shoe from creation, transportation to usage. As I said, world-class partners, big brands benefiting, and there's something to be excited for everyone involved, regardless of being a user, member, or an organization. Thank you very much. Please find us on X, follow us, EnergyWebX, on Discord if you have questions, via email, and as well the website. My name is Mihai, and it's been a real pleasure to bring you our work that we're doing for the maritime sector with a very concrete use case. Thank you.